everyone can build, what happens, Aino?
That's a very good question. That's something that we're going to cover during the next 15 minutes. Super, super excited to be here. So, what happens in a world where everyone can build? I want to start with the simple question. What do you see in this slide? What I see is actually the world that we're currently living in. The 8 billion people on this planet to put on a one grid. Each small square, 2,500 of them, representing 3.2 million people on this planet. Also, what I see on this grid is the 14 squares, the orange squares at the very bottom, representing those who have been building and been able to build software so far. So those actually 14 squares represent the 0.6% of the world population who have been deciding on how is the software built and what are the tools that the world is going to use. And shaped to a large extent ever since 1990, how actually the world looked like. And why am I telling you all this? Why does this matter? Is that I believe that every single major shift actually starts with a small group of people with an idea. But how are you able to create a global impact is by scaling your idea. So more people we have to build, having scalable tools to actually scale their idea from 0 to 1, the more impact, more positive impact we can create in the world. And as said, software has been one of those tools to create impact the past decades, shaping on how do we communicate, how do we interact, how do we work, how do we even fall in love? So then the question is, why haven't there been more people to build? And I believe that the barrier to entry has been too high. If we talk about the skill set that is required to build in our old world, years to learn, have deep enough of a technical experience and capabilities, not something that you can learn overnight. Secondly, you have needed to set up the foundation to get capital, to get everything started, to maybe even hire a team to bring those right skills to your team so you can get started. And where has it actually led is that most people didn't get started. How about your idea? Has that been the barrier? It's free, and I actually see that that's never been the problem. The good thing is that the world is now changing, and the barrier to build is collapsing. Today, one person with an idea can describe the future that they want to see, the problem that they want to solve. Now, today, you only require a laptop and maybe a Wi-Fi connection, and you don't need to start by hiring a team. And where does it lead to? You can get real products in days, sometimes just in hours. And your idea, it's still free. And in today's world, that's enough. And that's something that makes us at Lovable very, very exciting, because we believe that more people can build more issues and problems in the world we can tackle. And when Lovable was started, we saw and met too many people with ideas who weren't being able to build before. And Lovable, therefore, is meant to be the technical co-founder, the 99% of the people they never had. So you start with an idea, explain it in a plain, natural language, put it on paper or in one sentence. Lovable comes in. It builds your product. It actually designs your brand. And the best part, it even runs your backend from the databases to the APIs to payment systems. when then, with a one click, you can put the product into a full production and start getting the real users, real customers to actually go out there and enjoy. And this is no longer just a theory. The building has already been started, and there is more than 40 million projects built on Lovable today. So 40 million ideas that has been kept on the notebook, waiting a chance to be built, have been built over the past months. And one of those projects have been built by Sabrina, who is the first-time founder based in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And she ran into a problem, and she ended up building Blink, so women's safety AI app that runs instant criminal checks, so you actually know who you are meeting before you meet them. She didn't have engineering background. She didn't need to go and find a technical co-founder. She actually just had an idea that mattered. And today, she has a real product with real users and real revenue. But there is also more type of builders out there. So it doesn't always need to be a new company, but builders comes in many formats. One example is a sales leader, again, who didn't have a technical background, but saw an opportunity in their function to actually unlock new revenue potentials, and ended up building a restaurant pitch generator at Uber Eats in a company with thousands of engineers, but didn't need to ask the engineering resource allocation. Rather, went out there, built the product themselves, and started seeing immediate impact. And the best part is that actually these sites and apps are getting real traction. So there are over 600 million monthly visits on the products that have been built on Lovable. So I showed this grid on the very beginning of the presentation about how has the world been created that we currently live in, and what is the change that we are now seeing. And the question is it no longer about, can I build this? It's more about, what should I build next? And therefore, my question and thought for all of you is that if you have an idea, you have been waiting a permission to start, there hasn't been ever a better time to build a company than today, because the barrier to entry is lower. So if you have an idea, you're in, and my only advice for you would be that go build something lovable. Thank you.